Day bowl eligible, and Army has accepted a bid to the Fenway Bowl in Boston coming up on December 27th. But first things first, that's the biggest game of the season. And Jeff Monken, welcome back to the show, and congratulations on the bowl bid, though I'm not sure we really want to talk much about that tonight because the next game coming up is the biggest game of the year, and that's Navy on Saturday.
No bigger game in the world than this one, Rich. And, we've been waiting almost a year for the opportunity again, and it's exciting for our team and for everybody. This history in this game, over 125 years battling with these guys, just an awesome week. It's fun to prepare for, the intensity and the focus, and just the opportunity to play on such a big stage. Just excited for our team and looking forward to, like I said, to Saturday and the opportunity.
Shortly after last year's Army-Navy game, the number of days until this year's game was clearly on screens throughout your facility. And thinking about it all year, and it's finally here. Jeff, is it able to be any more important than it already is? I know you keep it on mind every day. You work on it every practice. How relieved are you that this week is finally here?
This is a game that's talked about 365 days a year here, and this rivalry is one that we can continue to keep kind of in the forefront of our thoughts and our preparation, and we don't have to apologize for it. It's such a big game, and certainly we're disappointed that we didn't play better last year, and that they won the football game, and we're going to just fight like crazy all this week in our preparation, as hard as we can all day Saturday, and try to get a victory. And that's what this game is about. I think both teams are going to play really hard, and it's important to both institutions and both programs and the players and coaches on each team, and that's what makes it such a great rivalry and such a great game every year.
Commander-in-Chief's trophy on the line by virtue of both Army and Navy defeating Air Force in November and October, respectively. So the winner on Saturday not only will win the Secretary's Trophy, symbolic of the winner of the annual Army-Navy game, but also that coveted Commander-in-Chief's Trophy. And, Jeff, you're looking to bring it back first time since 2023, and I know you've missed it the last year.
Well, it's such a source of pride to see that trophy in our building, to be able to witness our players hoisting that trophy over their head. I mean, it's an incredible feeling, and there's no rivalry like it. Just these three teams and how hard they fight for that trophy and what it means, and our guys will be fighting Saturday, and so will theirs, and hopefully we'll play well enough to earn it and get it back here. We've enjoyed having it here. We have missed seeing it in our building, and it'd be nice to see it back up in Kimsey again.
And the last time your team was on the football field a couple of weeks ago, needing a win, really the last chance to become bowl eligible in the regular season finale, going on the road at UTSA. You dig a little bit of a hole early. You're down 10. Your team shows that grit and resolve, and resiliency might be the word to most describe this team. And they came back on the road, ended up winning the ball game, and what a moment that was, being able to win on the road and the way you did it.
I'm so proud of our team, and we did. We had our backs to the wall, obviously, going into the game. If we were hoping to play in the postseason, that we were going to have to get a victory, and we got ourselves down. We found our way into the lead, relinquished that lead again, and just were tough enough, and as you said, resilient enough to come back and score, take the lead, and then our defense went out there and stopped. It was a great team victory. That's a really hard place to win, and that program, that team has taken great pride in the fact that they had never lost a conference football game under Jeff Traylor. So for us to go down there and win in the circumstances that we went into the game in, very proud of our team. And I think it shows the grittiness and the toughness of our team. I think we got a tough, hard-nosed football team, and they showed that down there in San Antonio. And hopefully that tough, gritty, hard-nosed team will show up this Saturday in Baltimore.
No doubt about that. And it had been at UTSA, 25 straight Roadrunners wins in conference at the Alamo Dome. You had a couple of wins there In that time period, though, when your team was an independent, so you come back, you beat them in 2020, beat them in 2023, you come back in 2025 as a conference opponent and defeat them by 3 points. And Noah Short, you got some big plays in that game. Noah Short, an 81-yard touchdown run. Jaden Mays, a 73-yard interception return for a touchdown. Felt Noah Short dictated so much in that game beyond his numbers on what ended up being the game-winning touchdown. Cale Hellam's pass to Parker Pulaski. Noah Short goes in motion one way, defense flows that way, and your tight end was wide open.
No, it was a really well-designed play, and it was just a boot play where we get him outside or get Cale outside the pocket with action going the other direction, and we took the tight end Parker and drug him across kind of the back of the end zone there, and Cale found him and really threw a nice pass. A little bit behind him, but Parker made a great adjustment, rolled back and pulled that thing in for a big score. That was awesome.
And Parker's family goes back with yours to Illinois. We talked about him a few weeks ago.
We did, and we do. Both of his parents were high school, not classmates, but we were in high school there together in Joliet at the same time, a couple years apart, but good friends my whole life. And so happy to have Parker on the team. He's doing a great job. And they traveled every game. They live in Boca Raton now, but they traveled to every game. And they were there in San Antonio. I know they'll be there this weekend, and they're really proud of him.
So that resiliency, you pick up the win against UTSA. You mentioned Navy, the rivalry, how much this game means. A lot of these players on offense for Navy you saw 1 year ago in this game. If you could speak to the year, really 3-4 top offensive players for this Navy squad. You got the quarterback Blake Horvath, the snipe, slot back, wide receiver, whatever you want to call him, Eli Heidenreich, the fullback Alex Teska, and Brandon Chapman. He's able to make some plays for them as well on that side of the ball.
They've got some real playmakers over there, and have done a really good job the last couple of years with those guys, and a lot of weapons. And you know they're a formidable opponent. As I said today at the luncheon, they got a good football team. It's going to take a great effort on our part. Our defense has got a tall task to defend them, but we're working every day, and we're going to be as prepared as we can on Saturday, and then the job is to go and execute.
No doubt about that. Army and Navy for the 126th time. The Army-Navy game presented by USAA coming up on Saturday from M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Kickoff just after 3 o'clock. Airtime across the Army Sports Network at 1 with the Army Football Tailgate Show. And those lucky enough to have tickets to the Army-Navy game, get there early. The president expected to attend, so get in the stadium early, the march-ons, all the pregame pomp and circumstance. It'll be Army and Navy for the 126th time. Well, coming up next, Jeff, our special guest, and we have talked to so many of the first-classmen. First of all, having your cadet athletes on the show been a great, great addition to the show. No one wants to hear us talking, right? They want to hear the cadet athletes, the ones making it happen. And yet another one of these firsties, and we're going back to New Jersey. I think that's been the state most represented this year. Our third New Jerseyan going to join us, and that's Jack Lator.
Well, we've got a lot of really good players from New Jersey,
that's
and
right.
And so it's been fun to have those guys on, and we're going to enjoy having Jack up here. He's people meet him and think he's quiet. He's one of the funniest guys on the team. He's always cracking jokes and got a little smirk on his face, and he's I know he's really beloved by his teammates, and he's just had a great career here, had a great senior year, and we'll have some fun with him up here.
And great, healthy Jack Lator here, his senior year, and feeling good heading into this Navy game coming up on Saturday. Jack Lator, our special guest, coming up in just a moment here on This Week in Army Football, live from the Cadet First Class Club right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Audience ready in 5, 4, 3.
And welcome back to the Cadet First Class Club. This week in Army football, Army-Navy for the 126th time. Coming up this Saturday in Baltimore, M&T Bank Stadium. Army looking for win number 7 on the season. Black Knights bowl eligible by virtue of the win a couple weekends ago on the road at UTSA. Army will be facing Connecticut in the Fenway Bowl coming up on Saturday, December 27th. Time now, though, for our special guests and yet another Army Black Knight from the great state of New Jersey. And he's a defensive end, and he's someone who has had a career. He's played a lot, played as a young player, and has had his best season here in his first year. How about this week in Army football? Welcome for number 92, the defensive end, Jack Lator. Jack, welcome to This Week in Army Football.
Thanks for having me.
So people think you're quiet, but you're the funniest guy on the team.
Yeah, you could say that. I'm a little shy to get going, but once you get to know me, I open up a little bit.
That's a fact. That's Jack.
Jeff, there's got to be so many personalities on this team. You as the head coach, it's got to be so much fun each year, a new group, and just learning what makes these guys go.
Well, it's fun to see guys grow up in the program, and watching Jack from his freshman year. I still remember, and I don't remember everybody on our team when they committed, but I remember when Jack committed. I remember the phone call I got. And I thought, there's no way this guy's going to stay committed to us. When he called me, he said, how do you commit? How's that go? And I said, you just tell me you're coming. You say you're committed, and that's that. He goes, okay, I guess I'm committed. I was like, okay, great.
Jack, what's your version of that call?
Probably about the same thing, honestly.
and I remember that, but he's had a great career, and he's had a great senior season. This guy's tough as nails, and man, I love this guy. I'm so glad he's on our team. He's meant so much to our defense, and he's going to mean a lot to our team this Saturday for sure. So,
Jack, what's the mood like right now in this week? You know, you're starting out the game week. You had the bye week last week. You've been through a few of these Army-Navy games in your career. What's the mood like right now?
What I'm noticing is I feel like everyone's just focused. Very intentful to the details, just little fundamentals, things like that, reading your keys. It feels like everyone's practicing like this is game 1 of a new season right here. So, that's what I'm seeing. Everyone's locked in on the goal at hand, and we're all just trying our best to get there.
Jeff, how are your firsties, your seniors, handling this week? I know they take this leadership role. They're leading these younger players just as much, if not more, than the coaching staff. How have these leaders, these seniors, handled it? For sure. I think this senior class has grown so much over the course of this year. Just been enjoyable to watch them grow as leaders, and really how tough they've been. We've been through some adversity, starting the season like we did, 1-3, and having some really close games, some close losses, some close wins that we had to overcome, some things to earn victory. And it's really built on the leadership of these guys. And so many of these seniors are playing and making contributions and have been a big part of us getting to where we are right now. And so been proud of their effort. And I know how badly they want to win. I can see the work that they're putting in this week and the preparation, and that's just going to give us a chance. The bottom line is we got to go play on Saturday. We got to make the plays when it counts. But the preparation is there, and they're putting forth a great effort. And so what Jack says, just what he sees out of his team is probably a great indication of what's going on out there. Jack, this is your 4th Army-Navy game that you've been a part of this program. What are the biggest things you've learned, picked up, whether it's managing the excitement, being focused on game day? What are the biggest things you've picked up from being a part of this game the past 3 years?
Yeah, I think a big thing is tuning out the noise. There's a lot of stuff going around with this game. There's a lot going on outside of what's actually happening on that field, and kind of tuning all that out and focusing on your job to get done when that first whistle blows until that last whistle blows is the most effective way to go at it.
And, Jeff, I only think of from a staff standpoint of when people head down to Baltimore. I'm heading down on Wednesday. You never head down Wednesday for a game. All that stuff, you're just trying to keep this like a regular week, and you're leaving on Thursday. How challenging is that?
You know what? Our guys, especially our guys that have played, they become accustomed to our routine for this game. It's a little bit similar to the Air Force game. We always travel a day early for the Air Force game. We were on the road this year, so we traveled on Thursday, and so that routine of leaving a day early and just kind of getting away from, as Jack says, the noise, any distractions that might be there, and just focusing on our team. And really for us, it's the business at hand. There's a lot of other things going on. There's events and tailgates and the gala and all of the stuff. But the most important thing is to have a team that's prepared and ready on Saturday when we kick it off. And so that's our focus. Our guys, they don't allow those other distractions to get in the way. And it is such a big football game for us. And we've been waiting almost 360 days for this game. And so there's a lot has gone into this. There's a lot of physical, mental, and emotional investment that's been put into this game. And the bottom line is we've got to stay locked in and focused on that because that's what counts on Saturday afternoon.
Jack, take me back to Middletown, New Jersey, growing up, and when you first became exposed to Army football and when you maybe first thought it was going to be an opportunity for you.
Yeah, I mean, I came to the Army-Navy game the year we did the 10th Mountain uniforms.
Nice.
The white ones in the snow.
2017.
Yeah, I was at that game, so going there, watching that game, it excited me. I always saw it as like an awesome opportunity, and then just getting into high school, getting that offer, it starts to become a real opportunity. And like Coach said, at first I was a little hesitant, but as I got to learn more about the program and learn more about what I was getting myself into, I started to love it more and more. And every year I've been here, I've been enjoying it more.
And Jeff, with Jack, it's been I'm sure a bit frustrating, right? He's had some injuries over these 4 years. When he's been healthy and it's worked this senior year along that defensive line, and I know health has been something, but how does it feel to have maybe as healthy as you've been since the opener with Cody Harris-Miller, Jacob Tuioti, Eric Ford doing some great things on the outside, just having Jack Bowsam, who's had a terrific year. How do you feel about that defensive line in particular?
We are awfully glad to have those guys healthy and ready to go for this Saturday. And we have a pretty healthy rotation there. We use a lot of guys and keep them fresh. But the guys you mentioned, Jack Lator, Jack Bowsam, Cody Harris-Miller, they're going to get most of the reps. Those guys are getting the bulk of it, and those are the guys that we're going to count on Saturday. And then guys like Jacob Tuioti and others that are in that rotation and in the mix. They give these guys a chance to catch a breath so they go out there and play their hardest on every snap. And it's nice to have guys and enough depth there that we're healthy and we can keep that rotation going.
Joined here by Army defensive lineman Jack Lator. And Jack, your dad, an NCAA college football player, Division I player at Rutgers, a tight end, Dan Lator. What kind of impact has he had on you?
I have a great relationship with my dad. He helped me a lot throughout the recruiting process, him having done it. And he's also helped me a lot since I've been here, kind of helping me manage good days and bad days. Like he's always there to call if something's not going right and I'm starting to get frustrated. Everything I've done, he's been through, and that's been a huge help in my career.
And a tight end for Rutgers, back up to Marco. But during my time there, I went to college with Dan. So that's great seeing him around and your family just a short trek up from Jersey. That has to feel good.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So U.S. Army, you're going to be commissioned as a second lieutenant here in just a few short months. What are you looking forward to most? I know branch night this past week. I know there's a lot going on.
There's a lot going on right now. I don't know. I mean, honestly, I'm just looking forward to doing what I came here to do. I started to love the idea of being in the Army as I was getting recruited, like I said. And as I've been here, that idea has kind of grown into something that I just can't see myself without being in the Army. So I'm excited to actually get out there and start getting into that and seeing how it goes from there.
Very well spoken. So
This
soft-spoken.
guy's going to do a great job. He's going to be a great officer. His soldiers will love him. He's tough. He's hard nosed. He's going to lead well, and being an example is the most important thing in leadership, and he's going to be a great example to people around him. So he certainly has been for our team. His toughness and his effort and his intensity and the way he plays. That's an example to everybody in our program.
So I know it's been a 2-week build-up, and it's going to be a lot of fun on Saturday. How was branch night? Take us through that and your branch and how that all went.
Yeah, branch night was a lot of fun. I got infantry, which is what I wanted. That was my number one choice.
All right.
There's only one branch for the people that choose infantry, right?
Right.
So
That's
congratulations.
Yeah, so I'm super excited about that. I was glad to see a lot of my friends got what they wanted to, a lot of my teammates. So, it's exciting, but at the same time, we're the top of our focus these past 2 weeks has been this upcoming game.
So, hey, Jack, good luck on Saturday to you, the senior class, this whole team. It's been great getting to know you for 4 years, and finish it off strong.
Yeah, thank you.
Jack Lator joining us, Army defensive end, firstie from Middletown, New Jersey. He is our guest tonight. When we come back, we'll talk more with Army head coach Jeff Monken about Army and Navy right here on This Week at Army Football, live from the Cadet First Class Club on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
3.
And welcome back to the show, Army fans. FW Webb for plumbing, heating, HVAC, refrigeration, pipe, valves, fittings, and more. With extensive inventory, personalized service, over 100 locations, and a fleet of trucks across the Northeast, FW Webb for a location near you. Back on the show with Army head coach Jeff Monken, getting set for Army and Navy coming up on Saturday. M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore, just joined by our special guest, Jack Lator. What an impressive young man. He said to us after, he was sweating out some of those questions. He was terrific.
He did great. And, that's Jack. Like he said, sometimes it takes a little time to warm up, but once he gets going, he does he gets the ear of everybody. And, that's the way he is around our team. It's the way he's been around everybody. But he's, like I said, his personality, really what a likable guy. His teammates love him, and he's subtly he didn't show it up here, but that guy's always got a few jokes in his pocket.
Oh, of course. He's just the silent assassin. You know what I mean? He's
that's
just
right.
there, and he's the one.
As they say, the oh shucks assassin.
So let's talk about another defensive lineman, and it's the health of Jack Lator has been a big story this year. Also, the comeback of Cody Harris-Miller, injured in the opener against Tarleton, and we didn't even know during the year if he was going to come back. Not only did he come back against Air Force at the beginning of November, he's gotten better each week, now really thriving. He played a lot of snaps down at UTSA.
He has. He's gotten better. He's quicker and just obviously more comfortable. I was so proud of him. He didn't play for, I guess it was 6 straight games, 7 straight games, somewhere in there. Came back in the Air Force game, and we kind of had that game targeted, hoping that he would be prepared and ready for that one. Our training staff really was pushing for that comeback, and we thought maybe he'd play a few snaps, maybe 10, 15, 20 snaps. I think he played 50 snaps in the game. And I don't know that he was completely ready. He had practiced, but man, what a tough guy. And he really played tough and played hard. And since then, just each week, playing a little better, looks a little more confident, a little quicker, played a good game at UTSA, and so hopefully he'll play a good game on Saturday. We're certainly going to need him to do that for us.
And Jacob Tuioti, he's come back from an injury as well. He gives you a really good depth there. He really is solid there at that nose guard spot.
Both of those guys, their toughness and their ability to kind of hold the point in there. They get a lot of double teams. They get a lot of people around their legs, and both of those guys do a really good job.
Another player staying on that defensive side of the ball, Eric Ford. Seemingly the last few weeks, he's found his way into the backfield. He's disrupting the quarterback, making tackles for loss, getting that initial hit on a ball carrier. What have you been able to do to really turn him loose? Eric Ford's had a really good month of November.
He has, and Coach Woody is his position coach, does a good job preparing him. Eric's just he's never been a full-time starter before this year. So I think just getting the experience and playing as the season's gone along, he's improved and become more confident in his role. And so I think all of those things are starting to show up here late in the season, and I hope he plays his best game of the year this Saturday.
And talking about depth, I wanted to talk for a moment about the defensive backfield. Jaden Mays, let's start with him. 73-yard interception return for a touchdown. He has had a terrific season in 2025, Jaden Mays. He
has, and that's a veteran player, and we're really, really happy to have him on our football team. That was a huge play. That's the difference in the football game. Not just getting a turnover. You get a turnover there and you fall down. That offense got to drive 73 yards for the touchdown. He gets that thing all in one play. You intercept it and take it back. Made a great run. Had a really fast guy coming from the opposite side of the field, which was. Man, that was impressive. That guy kind of ran him down. He got all the way there to the end zone.
A little cut back there at the 20. Yeah.
Big play, and really proud of him for that.
And Justin Weaver coming back. Weaver had a good game at UTSA, and then you couple that with the experience that Jabril Williams has gotten. Suddenly, when you have an injury there, now you have all this experience from some of those backups heading into what's going to be a huge game against a team like Navy. They will throw the ball at times.
They will, and they've got experienced players at their skill positions, and it's nice to have some experienced players at ours. That whole secondary, that there's senior players, veteran players playing back there, and like I said, they're going to have to play their best game of the year. There's a lot of intensity in this game. There's a lot of emotion in this game, and to have veteran players who have played in the game that can settle in and do their job, that's going to be key, because as you said, they do like to throw the ball some, and they use a lot of misdirection and a lot of counteraction to open guys up, and they've got some good players to throw it to. They got a good quarterback, and so our guys have to be positioned and then make the plays, and that's why we practice. That's why we're going to be out there the rest of the week, getting ready, and hopefully, like I said, play our very best football of the year.
We're with you on Mondays of game weeks here on This Week in Army Football. So when there's a bye week, we really can't rehash that previous game as much as we want. We're talking a little bit about UTSA, and of course the game coming up against Navy on Saturday is the focal point, biggest game of the year. But you rewind 1 week before that, a disappointing loss at home. What did you say to your team after the UTSA game and the way you won it, and you were able to hit one of those accomplishments, as you like to call them, not goals, becoming bowl eligible, and all they had to go through that week to come back? And again, we go back to that word, Jeff. This team has been nothing if not resilient.
No, it's mental toughness does that, and our guys, they just haven't allowed disappointments to affect the way they've prepared and to come back the next week. And we've seen that throughout the year. There's some disappointing moments, but they've answered the bell every time. And last week was a great example. We couldn't have been more disappointed losing to Tulsa the way we did. So just a lot of things just embarrassing to have that happen, and hard. And there are a lot of teams, a lot of competitors. It's easy to fold the tents and point the finger and wonder why and feel sorry for yourself, but not our team. They were determined. They had this effort and toughness all week. The senior leaders, as you mentioned, they showed up. They led the team, and just a tremendous effort down there in Texas. A hard place to win against a really athletic, well-coached team, and we found a way. And I just told them how proud I was of them, and for all we had been through and all the disappointments and ups and downs, to find a way where most people thought it would have been impossible and improbable. We found a way to get it done. So it's a great moment. And Dan McCarthy, one of our associate athletic directors, deputy athletic director, who works very closely with us in football. He's there every day. He's there at practice with us, travels in the locker room, and he knows our team. And he said, if I could have chosen the way it turned out, to have a disappointment against Tulsa and to come back and beat UTSA like we did, and just what that does for the confidence of this team, I'd take it. And as I told him, I said I'd much rather had a win over both of them. But the way it worked out, he's right. Just the toughness and resiliency and the way our guys believed and kept playing. And so, like I said, that doesn't earn us a victory for this weekend. It doesn't get us a single point. But I think it just speaks to who this team is and the fact that we got some strong leaders in that locker room.
It's such a fine line, Jeff. Your team has 5 losses, 4 of them literally games that could have gone either way. We're watching during the break and highlights, and your team against Tulane, a team that'll be playing in the college football playoff in a couple of weekends. It does take resiliency, because it has to be so frustrating in close games against teams then that go on to hit certain accomplishments of how close you were, but then being able to come back and making that edge turn the other way for you. That has to be fulfilling as a coach.
It is. It's gut-wrenching to lose those games like that, but on the other hand, I think about we've had 4 one-score victories as well.
Sure.
So
they even out, right?
They might have gone the other way, and we kind of take pride in winning close games, and over the course of my tenure here, we've won a lot more of those than we've lost, and this year we just happened to come up even Steven, and we're about over the last 10 years about 2 out of 3 in those one-score games, and it'd be nice to be 2 out of 3 this year. We'd be a little different place in terms of our record, but it wouldn't change where we're at right now. You know, getting ready for this game, you can throw all the records out. This is as Jack said, this is a brand new season. It's like we're starting all over, and we're playing for something else beyond what the rest of the season means, and that's the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. And man, to have that on the line and play for that this Saturday is, you know, it's pretty special.
And when you have the four of the large accomplishments this year, beating Air Force, bowl eligibility had been knocked out, and then defeating Navy would unlock the Commander-in-Chief's trophy. And, of course, winning a bowl game coming up on December 27th. And we'll mention it again, the Fenway Bowl against Connecticut at Fenway Park in Boston on December 27th at 2:15 p.m. When we come back here on This Week in Army Football, we'll talk more about Army and Navy matching up for the 126th time coming up on Saturday in Baltimore. You're watching This Week in Army Football right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Audience ready in 5, 4, 3.
And welcome back to This Week in Army Football. It's Army and Navy, meeting number 126 coming up on Saturday in Baltimore. Really the centerpiece of an entire weekend's worth of events getting started on Thursday and Friday. Of course, there's Radio Row, there's the Patriot games, also the Rendezvous Point along the Inner Harbor by USAA, presenting sponsor of the game. They put a lot into it in terms of raising the exposure and the stature. So Jeff Monken, your Army fans, they can hang out in the Inner Harbor, Q&A, activations. You're just going to be focused. Like, you're going to be focused. All your family and friends are going to be enjoying all this stuff, and you're just going to wait until, 3:12 p.m. on Saturday.
Well, I got no idea all that stuff is going on, frankly.
No, not at all.
And, but it's great. It's great that that's part of the pageantry and part of this game. And so it is. It's special. It's a destination for people, and I know it's such a big deal for everybody who has an opportunity to go to the game and be a part of this.
It's so interesting because there was so much social media, everything about the college football playoff bracket being released yesterday, who was in, who was out, who should be in, what changes should be made in the future. And as I like to say, you take whatever's wrong with college sports, and I'm sure you could fill up a lot of shows talking about it. And Army-Navy truly is one of those days, and maybe the day that's left of really what's right in college football. And I think it's great that this game is on its own day. Nothing else. I know there's a bowl game at night, right? The LA Bowl presented by Gronk. But I think that it's great that this game is in its own time frame, and everyone can just sit down and enjoy it.
It is. It's a great game. And as they say, it's America's game. It's one that everybody, college football fans, doesn't matter who you cheer for, that you can get excited about watching this game, especially if you're cheering for Army. But it is awesome. The competitors, the competitiveness of this game, and what it means to each branch of service, what it means to these institutions, and to know that all the competitors and all of their classmates that are sitting up in the stands, their teammates on the sideline, have made a pledge of commitment to serve their nation, and it just makes it very unique and very special.
The uniforms for Army-Navy, really avoided them on our last show because there was the game coming up against USAA. I know against UTSA. USA, of course, the presenting sponsor of Army-Navy. The uniforms.
You're welcome, Gus.
Gus is here. Gus Herder from USA. We got to get as many mentions as we can. So, Jeff, the uniforms. What do you think of them? 250 years of the Army.
They're fantastic. I mean, what about those can't you get excited about? One, what they represent. And just all of the pieces and how they put it together, and the symbolism and all of it. I mean, just awesome. Our players are excited about it. Every year they are, but just incredible uniforms, and appreciate Nike, appreciate our history department and our athletics department, how hard they work to put these together for the game each year, and these are going to be fantastic.
And so many staff members on the Army athletics staff have a lot to do with it. Brett Rory, who's actually keeping us on the video stream tonight, had a big part in the video. James Vernon, Matt Faulkner, Mike Richard, Eric Chapinski, our communications director for Army football, and then the history department, Nike. Really, it's so many entities all coming together. And I'll tell you what, I hope this uniform and helmet make their way into your office when I stop by and see you in January.
I hope so too, Rich. So we're going to find out, like you said, at 3:12 in the afternoon on.
I think it's 3:12.
On whatever it is for that 4 hours of 60 minutes of football, or if it takes more, it takes more. I hope that helmet and jersey will find its way in there.
When there's a game coming up, I always add that city in my phone to the weather, and I did see a snowflake on Saturday for the weather. White uniforms, snow, I don't know. It brings back some good memories.
Yeah, well, rain, shine, snow, sleet, wind, whatever it is, I know two teams are going to show up and play, and ours is going to be ready to play as hard as they can play. I hope they'll play as well as they can play.
And we'll be back for one more segment here on This Week in Army Football coming up in just a moment right here on the Army Sports Network from Learfield.
Audience ready in 5, 4, 3.
Back one more time on This Week in Army Football as we get set for the biggest game of the year, the 126th Army-Navy game presented by USAA. And Jeff, you're going for win number 7 in the last 10 years against Navy. And when the first of those 7 wins was at M&T Bank Stadium, 2016. And that was one of the great days.
That was a great day. That was a great day in Army football history, and great day for our players and for this institution, and a great day for me. I mean, it's one of the joys of coming here and having a chance to coach in this historic program is coaching in this game, and I just had a personal determination that I was going to find a way to help this program break that streak, and so I was glad to be a part of it. It was our players did it. And so we've had some success in that game, but the other games don't matter, Rich. It's this one. We got to win 1 out of 1 this Saturday, and that's the bottom line. So we'll find a way this Saturday, I hope. And it's the biggest game of the year. It's the only game of the year, and so we waited a long time, and I'm glad this week is here for us to get ready for it.
I know it must be like choosing between kids, right? But what is your favorite Army-Navy game since coming here as head coach?
Well,
nothing's going to be like 16.
16 is really special, obviously, the streak, but every one of them's been great. The next year in the snow and the 10th Mountain uniforms and just the way that thing came down to the finish, and then the next year making it 3 in a row. I don't know the last time it's been 3 in a row, or that's
mid-90s.
Winning the Commander-in-Chief's trophy 2 years in a row, that was big.
2020 was special.
It was. I think just the response. 2019, they beat the crap out of us and embarrassed about it still. But in 2020, we played here in what was really a very difficult year for everybody in college football. But we won that game here, and that was the first of back-to-back games to win the trophy back, and so there's just been some great moments. The overtime game, Quinn Moretsky nailing that field goal.
2022,
man, and
in 23 you start 2-6 and you win your last 4. Yeah, I see.
So there's so many great memories, and the players and the plays that they made, and so again, it's such a big game. It's wrought with emotion. The ones that we didn't come out on top in, and those sit with you a long time and sting just as much. And so hopefully Saturday, about 6:30 or 7 o'clock or whenever that thing ends, we're celebrating another victory. But it's going to take a great effort on the part of our team. But we're going to get ourselves ready this week and give it all we got.
This might be our last show at West Point for 2025, but we will have one more This Week in Army Football radio show. Still working on details, looking like the day before the bowl game. It'll be on December 26th that evening from the Army Team Hotel, as we like to do when we're on the road at these bowl games, is talk some Army football and get set for Army and Connecticut coming up in the Fenway Bowl. Jeff, we just have about a minute left. Any special, is there, superstitions? Do you, what do you do before an Army-Navy game?
Well, I'm not superstitious. Really just try to have myself focused to do the job that I have to do for our team. That's my responsibility. And just take in the moment and the opportunity to play in what I think is the greatest rivalry in sports. So we're looking forward to it. It's a great week. We're always excited. I'm always excited. Everybody in my house just really looking forward to Saturday and the opportunity that we have to go play Army football in Baltimore and play for the Commander-in-Chief's trophy.
Well, Jeff, thanks again. Great season. We got one more show coming up.
Thanks
Best
to everybody.
of luck on Saturday.
We've had a great crowd all this
absolutely.
year.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, everybody. Yep.
Each and every year, it was a new night, and we appreciate everyone throughout this 2025 season. Jeff Monken, good luck on Saturday.
Beat Navy.
Oh, sounds good to me, this broadcast, an exclusive presentation of Army West Point Sports Properties, a property of Learfield, under the broadcasting rights granted by the United States Military Academy at West Point. This broadcast copyrighted. Any rebroadcast or reuse of this presentation prohibited without the express written consent of the Academy and Army West Point Sports Properties. General Manager is Steve Tucker. Skylar, Jimmy, Tony, keeping us on the air. Brett Rory, James Vernon, helping our video broadcast on YouTube Live. I'd like to thank Jack Lator, our special guest. Army-Navy game presented by USAA coming up on Saturday. M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. Airtime at 1 o'clock for Army. Head coach Jeff Monken, Rich DeMarco saying so long. Thanks for watching and listening. Have a great rest of your night, everyone. Beat Navy.